They say freedom is a state of mind. Easy to say when you never really had to grind. A breeze coming from someone who benefits off America's lies and the blood and sweat of my ancestors' cries. They say freedom is a state of mind, but hard to find when every time your hair rises, when you see the lights and hear the chimes of the sirens that protect you. The badge meant to serve, but only serves the church a couple G's to bury you. Freedom is a state of mind, but no amount of meditating give me peace of mind. Knowing that there's only a matter of time before that big red target on my back hits bullseye, bang, bang, drop dead, I died. But look at the bright side. You took a big weight off my shoulders. Thank you, mama, for everything you showed us. Now I'm chilling with the big man who made us. They said freedom is a state of mind. Now I'm here to feel freedom for the first time. No one judges by the color of the skin or the way I wear my hair or the way I say hi. I told Jesus, what's up? What to do? I told him nothing much. I see Emmett Till booed up. Then I chopped it up with Harry and then Dr. King. He said, how was my dream? I cried, told him, Martin, it's a sad thing. I was so young, 16, had a real bright future ahead of me. I got killed for a little weed in a bad place trying to make a little money. My mama was sick. My little sis starving her to see her hungry. The most expressive Negro music of any given period will be the exact reflection of what the Negro himself is. It will be the portrait of the Negro in America at that particular time. Now that is a quote from Amiri Baraka, formerly known as Leroy Jones. He is a famous African-American poet / writer. He stated that quote in his 1963 book, Blues People, page 137, in case you wanted to quote me. My name is Noah Anderson. I was raised in Madison, Wisconsin, South Side. I was born in the north side of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You might recognize me as that kid at West High School that helped lead West into getting my father's job back after he was wrongfully terminated for informing a kid not to call him a racial slur. Yeah. Or you might recognize me as, through my artistry, as a poet or a musically lyricist, a rapper. I go by the name of Village. Now, the piece I just shared with you guys is called Freedom is a State of Mind. Freedom is a State of Mind is the first song, among one of the first songs that I ever wrote. That was actually the song that made me realize, yo, maybe I can be one of the greats. Maybe I can be like Cole. Maybe I should take this thing seriously. But most importantly, Freedom is a State of Mind was the first time I really, truly sat down and I thought and reflected on myself. I reflected on my concern and my fear of being a black man in America. Now, if you listen to the words that I spoke on the piece I just shared with you, and if you've been listening to the cries of the African Americans or of African American people in America for generations after generations, decades after decades, then you should know. Matter of fact, you should see all similarities. You should not have any surprise, actually, because these are the same tears that was cried 400 years ago that are still being ignored by America as a whole today. We know that America has been selective with this promise of freedom when it comes to black Americans. History shows us that America's promises of freedom and the privileges of being a citizen in America all rely off the backs of black people, black suffering and black loss. But black suffering and loss has also been raw material for some of the greatest black musical influencers. Matter of fact, Scratch the Black, one of the greatest musical influencers that America has ever seen. We talking about Marvin Gaye, Nina Simone, Sam Cooke, Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, and my personal favorite, Tupac. Love Tupac. These are all examples of Black people that use their musical talent as a voice to speak for Black people. Through the years, Black music has been a tool to help shape the collective narrative around Black America. It helped us give a voice to what many may find hard to express. Now, Royce the 5'9", now this is a quote, so I'm gonna read this. Royce the 5'9" states in his ABC News that hip hop was the voice that America could not control. It was the voice of the streets that they didn't know what the next line would be, and that scared them. He told ABC News, because we spoke our own unapologetic truth, we spoke about environments that was overlooked, that didn't have a voice, that didn't have a say, that didn't have pretty much anything. That's deep, and it's real. Before and after coming to the Americas, Black people have used music and dance to express their feelings as an escape from reality, to tell stories to the youth, and all just to communicate. Now, during my research process, I found something that was really dope, super dope. During my research process, I wanted to study deeper, past the Americas, past before the slave trade. And I found something that amazed me. So, in many West African languages are tonal languages, meaning that through the tone of their voice, through the tones that they make, they perceive words, they perceive sentences, they perceive stories. This being a fact, and this being the case, allowed them to create something called the talking drums or talking instruments, which allowed them to legitimately be able to speak through the tones of the instruments. They could play a drum and cuss somebody out while playing a drum. So that's dope. I just wanted to share that with you guys. But also, we also see in Brazil, we see that the enslaved people in Brazil, that they use dance where they communicated with each other on direction. And it was also, they used it to escape. So while Master thought they was just dancing, just just doing their thing, really what they was doing was practicing an escape. And you might know this as today as the famous martial arts style, capoeira. Music is one of the leading foundations of Black culture. It holds our roots far back to the griots. One of the oldest professions in African culture, storytellers, musicians, and poets. Without writing, they kept their stories alive. Growing up through the Madison Metropolitan School District, I wish I realized this a little bit sooner. I experienced self-loathe. I hated being Black. I hated my fat, beautiful nose, my thick, luscious lips, my beautiful, curly hair. Hated everything about myself. And my white counterparts did not help. Every time they would call me out my name, from Curious George to the missing link. But it's really the difference or the thing between monkeys and humans and stuff like that. I didn't find that out until I was in middle school. Some smart kids, because that's grade school. But anyway, that had led to, self-hatred and a rough growing up of not knowing my history and not understanding where I come from. About a year ago, along with my new interest in activism and learning about how our system works, I decided to pick up the pen and notepad myself, but in the form of my ancestors, or our current day MCs, a lot like Kendrick Lamar or a J. Cole. I wrote with rhythm and rhyme of one of my saddest times. My first girl was a white girl. My second girl was a white girl. My third girl was an Asian. I purposely neglected all the black girls who often on occasions won't soon forget the many measures taken, conform with Caucasians, to separate myself from what I thought was 3/5 of a human. The bluest eye, but in my booker was the straightest hair. Medium locks, I swiped them to the side. The ugliest thing, man, you'll ever see. A separate struggle for many youth that look like me. My daddy and my mama took me from the ghetto, escaping me to a mellow, free from all the plans the system had for me. Oblivious to all the self-loathe that came with it. Broken-hearted and tainted, tried to wash the brown off like Michael Jackson, no escape from it. But what's expected when your knowledge on your history is limited to obedient slaves and zero relevance? As I look back through retrospect, I might find good times that I forget, left behind bad things which I neglect, but to shine, embracing all of it. I am mine, not fit for a servant. Black family line, they bear strikes, so I didn't. I will walk in my black relevance. White thoughts irrelevant. The most expressive Negro music of any given period will be the exact reflection of what the Negro himself is. It'll be the portrait of the Negro in America at that particular time. Thank you.